but it is much colder here than it was in Florida, so it's kind of weird. But anyways, I'm Jaden and this is my channel, and today we are going to be making a dessert. Like I said in my last video, we are going to be making a really cool dessert. I really like it. Tastes good, looks really nice, looks pretty professional in my opinion, depending, you know, how they end up. So yeah, we're gonna go along and I'm gonna show you how to make these things. So let's get started.
So for this recipe, you'll need flavoring, coloring, optional, water, a pastry brush, candy thermometer, glucose, or like corn syrup, talk about that later, sugar, water, and pan, and a balloon filled with water. Make sure there's no air in it. First, you want to add the water, small amount of water, of course, and then you want to add the sugar and the glucose. And all my recipe quantities for this recipe and my other recipes will be on my website, jadensbaking.wordpress.com, and there'll be a link in the description below. Now, you can do it without glucose or light corn syrup, but it does help to have it in. It'll make it shinier and look nicer at the end, and it'll also make help it not crystallize. And then you want to turn the heat on high and stir it until the sugar is dissolved. And then, once it's all dissolved, I'm going to grab a pastry brush with some just extra water, whatever water you want to use. And you just want to brush down the sides of the pan. And this is to get rid of any sugar crystals, and this will prevent it from crystallizing and getting all lumpy. And it happened to me the first time. I'm like, what happened? So if you go back in my Danish video, my second video, I talk about this very thing. It's very important if you don't want it to get all clumpy and stuff. And if you don't do this, it's not going to work, so make sure you do this. So you can use a plain paintbrush, new paintbrush, or whatever you want to use, but make sure you do this step. It's very important. Once the sugar is dissolved, add a candy thermometer until it reaches 300 degrees. I think you can do it without a candy thermometer, until it reaches like a light brown, fairly dark brown, and you really want to pull it off the heat. Then you will take the candy thermometer out, and it's time to add our flavoring and coloring. Now you can leave these out, of course, but they kind of bland. So for my flavoring, I'm going to be using some peppermint, and this is Claire. Do use Claire if you're using some flavoring. So just pour a generous amount in there, because this is pretty much sugar candy here, so we want pretty much flavoring, so it's all well flavored. You want to just stir that up with a spoon. Wow, that bubbles a lot. But that is what this does. When it is stirred and it's cold or whatever, it'll start bubble like crazy, but they all go away again then. Now for coloring. Wow, you can probably use whatever coloring you want. Probably use a liquid coloring though. I'm using red because red's really unhealthy for you. Okay, that's enough. Don't add any more. Okay, good. Yikes, that was definitely too much. So if you are against red food coloring, you can use whatever coloring you want. If you want multiple colors, you can just put little drops in, and then don't stir it. Just when you pour it over the balloon, just let it mix together themselves. Wow, that got really dark red. Oh well. Then with your balloon on wax paper on a bowl, you want to slowly pour it over and make sure there's no bubbles in the mixture, so it's decently cold. You want to just keep pouring it over. It's just going to drip down. That looks amazingly unhealthy. Oh well. It's be fine. Like, guys, I'm not on a diet or anything, so. Now, I know when this sets, it gets rock hard. So you might be wondering, how on earth do we clean the pan? Well, first, in a sink, you want to pour some cold water, okay? Now, you can do this with either cold water or hot water, medium, whatever. It doesn't really matter, just to help protect it a little bit. And then you want to just fill the pan completely overflow it, whatever, with water, because this is gonna get the sugar, it just dissolves in the water, and it might be it might go a little faster if you use hot water, but I'm using cold water here, it doesn't really matter. And it's just gonna dissolve all that, and your pan's gonna be clean, and you won't have to spend hours trying to clean your pan if you're wondering how to do that, because that would be horrible if we had to do that. That would be just absolutely terrible. And then you want to let that set for an hour or two, and it's all gonna just disappear. Now, for that balloon, and make sure it sets for 15 minutes before you do anything with it. Now we can take it off the stand-in. You want to put a little cut in the balloon, and just let it empty out. And the main key here is to not get the sugar wet, because this does not like to get wet. If this gets wet, there is gonna be big trouble, because it gets really sticky when it gets wet. It's kind of sticky even without getting wet, and so you want to be really careful not to get it wet. Just pull it and letting the water leak out slowly so that it doesn't break the candy with a quick pop, and just slowly let it out until it is all gone. Ugh, come on, seriously, just get out. Why is this taking so long? Okay. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Ah! Oh no, it's spraying up at me! Okay, we're gonna put you in upside down, then you can't get anywhere. And here you have it, folks. A beautiful homemade sugar bowl that looks absolutely beautiful. And now it's time to assemble. So, to make this thing look amazing, or half amazing at least, we're going to add ice cream, because ice cream goes good with this sort of stuff. So we're just going to fill this up. Now we're going to add some whipped cream on top of that. This is just heavy whipping cream in a food processor with some sugar. And super easy, so we're just going to pop some of that on, and we're going to put some blueberries on there. Okay, that looks kind of weird. I think I had some sort of other fruit to kind of go along with it, but I don't, so it looks kind of weird. Oh well. I think it looks pretty cool, but I don't know. Comment down below if you like how this looks, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!